Hey folks, this is the Bushman here. Just wanted to go over today because I changed the thermal paste on my PlayStation 2. This is the second time I've actually done this. But as you can hear in the background, the fan, it's not on its full speed right now, but it's pretty high up there. And I put the thermal paste on yesterday about 16 hours ago. It sounded like it was running better. The thermal paste I was using was actually the Radio Shack Arctic Silver 5, which I read online that a lot of people have problems with. I applied this to the CPUs numerous ways yesterday, and I'm going to take it apart again today and see if I can just clean it up a little bit and remove some of the thermocouple paste. I'm going to pause the video here and show you how I'm going to do it, and we'll see if this works together. I just have the top off this right now just to see if the power supply was actually hot, because some people say the older ones have hot power supplies. Yeah, it is a little warm to the touch, but being that it's off of the actual circuit board, I don't think that that's the problem. There's no heat coming from the CPU or anything else, but the power supply is a little bit warm, but I really don't think that's the problem at all. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and we'll meet you back when I take apart the actual CPU and heatsink. Alright, so right now I got it broke down to where you can see the actual processing unit and your heatsink. I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the thermal paste that's off of on the heatsink right here. I'm going to go ahead and clean that off with some isopropyl alcohol. I got 91%. The higher percentage the better, because it has less water. And I'm just going to use the toilet paper, dab it on the toilet paper, and I'm going to wipe it off until I can't see that. And then I'm going to come over here, and I have saran wrap on my finger. I'm going to make a more square pattern. This one looks like it thinned down a little bit better. I might just, make a little square pattern and leave the edges and see how that goes. Let's see which side is this. I think as you're looking at it from the bottom, as you're looking at it from the bottom, this is the one that's underneath your power unit. So that is what we'll take into consideration later on. So right now I'm going to clean this up, and then I will show you what my CPUs will look like after I've cleaned this up and made the paste into a pattern. Okay, so here you see that I've cleaned the heat sinks with toilet paper and isopropyl alcohol. I left on what existing thermal compound was already on the chips. What I did is I just made a square pattern. I left about a quarter of an inch around all the CPUs. This is what I was using, which I think the last time I used, a better compound, I got at Best Buy. Let's see if I can even get it focused in here. And yeah, it's Arctic Silver 5 is what it's called, from Radio Shack. So that's what I was using, but I guess it's a really thick compound. So now that I've cleaned this up and I've made a little thin pattern, I'm going to put this back together, and we're going to see how this runs. And also I have another idea that I'm going to try after I test this. I will be back momentarily. Alright, for testing purposes, I got this back together pretty much to where it's going to run. Right now you can hear there's no loud fan. Of course, I will give it a second. I'm going to go ahead and put in a blue video game, so we'll see how that runs. Okay, so before I could even get the game in, the fan came on, and now I got the flashing green and red, and it even gave me a warning which went away, but it said the system has become hot. So now I'm going to break it back down and reapply the thermo compound. Okay, so now you see I cleaned it up and went ahead and spread out the thermal compound. On one side, they recommend you use about a rice grain worth of paste. So you can see there I actually got a piece of rice because I'm almost tired of reapplying this thermal compound now. So I'm just going to spread this out again, just like the one on the right. You know, because last time it said it was overheated, it hadn't done that before, and I had removed half of thermal paste. So I'm just going to go ahead and spread this out, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, I came up with an idea while I was doing this. Like I said, I'm getting tired of doing this. So I put electrical tape on both of these where your plate's going to screw down your heat sink, and then I also put a piece of tape behind the floppy heat sink here, just any little metal contact, a little bit of insulation. And I'm going to try that out, as well as I'm going to take some rubber washers, they're plumbing washers, and I'm going to put them underneath of the power supply unit on the screws that'll actually be right underneath the power supply unit, and then that will eliminate anything as far as it's touching. But like I said, the mounting brackets, they aren't, it's not on this metal circuit board, but I'm just going to do that just to do it anyway. So after I come back, I'll have this all put together. So just to show you how I have my rubber plumbing stoppers, I just got them in line there so it'll be even. They actually do touch the bottom of the power supply. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bolt in the power supply and leave them like they are. They should be secure enough. Okay, so here we are. I've had it running for a few minutes now. You can see the fan's not blowing. It's in the first stage of the fan. PlayStation is on. Everything's working. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. I'm going to go through the menu and everything, and we'll see what happens. Okay guys, I'm back. As you can see, the fan did speed up a little, but it's not as bad as it was. It was at the full blast mode when I initially fixed this. And I mean, right now I've taken this thing apart and done it so many times that I could probably put it together blindfolded. And I do not care to do this ever again. So hopefully this works for you. I don't know if I'd recommend the Arctic Silver 5 because I hear it's really not good. Last time I didn't use it as well that I did this. Hopefully this tutorial will help you solve your problem. I know I've been through a lot where I even restored my whole PlayStation. It didn't work, so I took it apart and cleaned it all out, and now you can see it's running pretty smooth with the video game in. So yeah, thanks. If you got any questions, just send them in the comments.